Good evening, and we begin tonight with breaking news out of the Middle East. Iran has launched a massive ballistic missile attack on Israel. At least 180 missiles were fired at Israeli territory. This is a significant escalation in the long-standing conflict between the two nations. The attacks began in the early morning hours, local time. Targets included major cities like Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Air raid sirens wailed across the country. Millions of Israelis were forced to seek shelter underground. This is the largest attack by Iran on Israel in recent history. It comes after months of heightened tensions and skirmishes between the two countries. We have teams on the ground in both Israel and Iran working to gather more information. We'll continue to update you as this story develops. As dawn breaks in Israel, the devastation from the Iranian missile attacks is becoming clear. Videos and images emerging from the region show widespread damage. Buildings are in ruins, streets are littered with debris, emergency responders are frantically searching for survivors. Hospitals are overwhelmed with casualties. The exact number of dead and injured is still unknown, but it is feared to be significant. The Israeli government has declared a state of emergency. Schools and businesses are closed. The military has been mobilized and is preparing a response. The situation remains fluid and dangerous. Israel has wasted no time in responding to the Iranian missile attacks. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed the nation just hours after the first missiles struck. He condemned the attacks as an act of war and vowed a swift and devastating response. Israeli fighter jets are already carrying out airstrikes against targets inside Iran. The Israeli military says it is targeting Iranian military installations and weapons facilities. They claim to be inflicting heavy damage. Israel has also called up tens of thousands of reservists. This suggests they are preparing for a potentially prolonged conflict. The situation is extremely volatile. The possibility of a wider regional war is growing by the hour. The international community has reacted with alarm and condemnation to the Iranian missile attacks. The United States has expressed its unwavering support for Israel and its right to defend itself. Other world leaders have called for restraint from both sides. The United Nations Security Council has called for an emergency meeting to address the crisis. However, it is unclear what concrete actions the international community can take to de-escalate the situation. The fear is that this could spiral into a wider regional conflict, one that could drag in other major powers and have devastating consequences. The world is watching and waiting anxiously to see what happens next. Iran has officially claimed responsibility for the missile attacks on Israel. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, a powerful branch of the Iranian military, issued a statement. They said the attacks were in retaliation for recent Israeli airstrikes against Iranian targets in Syria. The statement also warned that any Israeli retaliation would be met with an even stronger response. They said that Iran would not hesitate to strike back if provoked. This defiant stance has further heightened tensions in the region. The situation remains extremely dangerous. The world is on edge as we wait to see how Israel will respond to this latest Iranian provocation. One thing is clear: the stakes in this conflict have just been raised considerably.